Colon cancer vlog number 3. Today I would like to talk about my experience with colonoscopy. And really the colonoscopy isn't the part that we want to talk about because that's the part that's pretty easy, at least in this country. I recently heard of someone that was in the UK, and they don't put you out for your colonoscopy in the UK. You're awake and you're not anesthetized in any kind of way. And I can't even imagine how horrible that must be. I'm so thankful that they put us out here in the States for a colonoscopy. So let's talk about my colonoscopy. I'm kind of backwards, I guess, because I feel like I've given you information for what things that happened afterwards, but I didn't really talk much about the colonoscopy except for like on a short that I did. And by the way, today's Sunday. Happy Sunday. There's a song I want to share with you guys that we sing at church from time to time that just really is so meaningful for what I'm going through. But we'll either do that at the end of the video or maybe I'll just do a whole separate video with that. But so my colonoscopy was scheduled for October 6th. I scheduled it sometime the beginning of September. So I had to wait like 3-4 weeks to even get my colonoscopy. And that was kind of a tough wait in a way. I don't know. In another way, it was. I tried to see it as a reprieve, kind of like, you know. I recognized that when I got my results, the results could have been bad. So I told myself this could be the last normal 3 weeks of my life, and I'm thankful that I have this 3 weeks to enjoy normal life. Even though it wasn't really normal because I still had all my symptoms. I was in the bathroom a lot and there were weird sensations that were unpleasant and everything. But nonetheless, so October 6th. So the way my people did it, I've heard most people it's like a 3-day process. But the people that, you know, ordered my colonoscopy, they wanted me to spend 6 days on what they call a low residue, low fat diet. So starting the Friday before, October 6th was a Friday. So starting the previous Friday, I was going to be on a low residue, low fat diet, which means no peanuts, no strawberries, no fresh fruit with any kind of skin, no fresh vegetables with any, especially no fresh vegetables. It's pretty much everything has to be cooked. And white bread, which I really don't eat white bread, but no wheat stuff. And what else? Meats were okay, cheeses were okay. And you know, no red stuff, whatever, nothing red. Now I remember I was eating some M&Ms and it had some red ones in there. I was like, oh, maybe I need to not eat those. So I did. I stopped eating them. And they were dark chocolate M&Ms, so they were low in fat, so they kind of worked. So that, you know, obviously it's not that big of a deal. And then the night before, or the whole day before, you know, you're on a complete liquid diet, no food whatsoever. So the last food I had was like Wednesday night at like 9 o'clock. I had some toast. And because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to get to eat next, so I'm going to put something in my belly right now. And so the next day, complete fluids, you know, clear fluids. They consider like tea and ginger ale clear, I guess, because depending on how you make your tea, I guess, you should be able to see through it. So it's considered clear, nothing red, no Hawaiian punch or anything like that. And then you could do jellos as long as it's not red jello, and and broth. I tried some broth. It's pretty, I mean, there's some broths that are good, but with the kind that I got, it wasn't really good. I put salt in it and everything and heated it up, because I need everything to be like hot. If I have a hot meal, it's got to be hot. I mean, I'm not as bad as my dad. My dad's the type, he will, as soon as you serve it to him, he'll go and put it in the microwave for another 60 seconds. And my coffee's the same way. If it gets warm, I could probably heat up my coffee 4, 5, 6 times before I finish a cup. So I like everything to be really hot. So I'd heat up the broth really hot, put salt in it, and try to make it taste good. And it's just stuff that I got wasn't good. It was chicken broth. I should have gotten beef broth. But that wasn't really that bad. It was a little, I was hungry, but I'm not somebody who has to like eat all the time. Eating. I don't want to go down a rabbit trail, but the last few years of my life, I've kind of got to the point where I wish I couldn't. I wish I didn't have to eat. I wish eating was an option and not a requirement, because eating is, it's caused me a lot of troubles, not only with my weight, but also with my stomach. And I like food. There are foods that I like. I like Indian food, Mediterranean food, things like that, but I wish it was an option where I could eat it maybe once a week, a couple times a week. That'd make life easier for me. Anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal to go, a day without eating, really. I usually don't drink soda, but I did buy ginger ale and 7-Up, which I'm glad I did. I'll tell you why later. So I don't drink a lot of soda, but I figured I would need some kind of sugar in my system, because I do tend to get sugar crashes if I don't eat enough fat or something, or if I eat a lot of carbs. Like I cannot eat like waffles and pancakes for breakfast because I'm going to pay for it, because I'm going to have a sugar crash around lunchtime and I'm going to get lightheaded, and so I have to eat protein for breakfast. Can't say that I don't eat those every now and then, but I pay for it every time. I'm just like, what am I doing? I know I can't do this. But I got that for sugar mainly. And anyway, it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that big deal. So the part that really sucks, and if you listen to any other video, this is the part that sucks, is the part the stuff that you have to drink in order to clean yourself out. So I had to go pick the stuff up early, ahead of time, and my pharmacy called and said, hey, the stuff that was sent over, your insurance doesn't cover, and it's really expensive. I didn't ask how really expensive was. I wish I would have, because if it was like $80, I totally would have done it. My impression was, and I've been telling people this, but I realize now that maybe I was telling people wrong, but my impression is that what I was sent over was like the stuff in pill form, that all I had to do is swallow pills and drink lots of water. People are telling me, I've not heard of that. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I could have sworn they told me it was pills. And let me tell you, when I have to do this again, because this is going to be a regular part of my life, I don't care how expensive it is. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to take it, because the alternative is not good. Now, there's another alternative form where you're only drinking like 16 ounces or 2 16-ounce containers of something. I think I could handle that. But what I got instead, now my insurance covered this 100%, was the 4-liter jug of the nastiness. And I've seen it in long circular things, just because watching other videos. I've seen it in shorter, fatter, like I had, or taller and not as fat. Anyway, it's 4 liters, so go get you 2 2-liter things of soda. That's what you've got to drink of stuff that tastes awful. It said on the little container, lemon flavor. Well, let me tell you, there wasn't a hint of lemon anywhere in that drink. Nowhere. But I was supposed to start it at 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. And I read the instructions, which, by the way, they're giving these things to people, well, not always anymore, but previously, they've given this stuff to people in their 40s and 50s, 60s, and the print is like that. It's so tiny. I had to get my phone out to read it, to magnify it. It's so tiny. It's like, how do you expect people to read this? But I stand to read it, and I don't know, I'm not a very close reader. Like, I can skip over details and get things wrong if I'm not paying attention, which I wasn't. But I thought I had read on there that it was recommended that you don't sip it, that you kind of gulp it. And I never did go back and check it, because I feel like that was wrong. And I'll tell you why. I feel like it should have said that sipping it is better than gulping it. So anyway, 5 o'clock rolls around on the day before my colonoscopy, and I'm tasked with this big, ugly jug of stuff. I had filled it up with water the night before and put it in the fridge because I heard that if it's refrigerated, it tastes better. So, the recommendation on the thing was to drink 8 ounces every 10 minutes. So I'm just following instructions, right? And my thought process was, I'm going to drink it in the first 3 or 4 minutes. That way I have, 6 or 7 minutes of no drinking to do. And so I take my first sip and I'm just like, oh, yep, it tastes terrible. But I thought it was going to be thick. I was going to be like viscous. But it's not. It's like the texture and consistency of water. But I taste it and I'm like, literally, it tastes like snot. I mean, it tastes like snot. It's not thick and slimy like snot. It's got the consistency of water, but it tastes like snot. I mean, salty and kind of, I guess salts are basic, right? They're not acidic, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're basic. So, I don't know, basic things usually have this kind of, I can't describe it, this weird taste. Anyway, I take the first sip and I chase it with some ginger ale. And I did that for the first glass or so, but then I started thinking, I was like, what if this stuff reacts in some way to the carbonation in the ginger ale? And now I've got this big recipe of like bubbly, icky stuff in my stomach. By the way, the lighting once again is bad. It's because I'm in front of windows, but I like this spot, so I hope y'all don't mind that my lighting's not great. And I think it's like zooming in and out and in and out because of all this stuff back here. I apologize, but I like this spot and I like to be in a place, I need to do these in a place that makes me feel good. It's not a very happy topic. Back to the story. So I started thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't drink it with ginger ale. Maybe I should sip it more with water. So I'd take a sip of this nastiness and then I'd drink some water. And then another sip and I'd drink some water. And I'm gagging, like I'm drinking it and I'm just gagging. And of course, because I'm trying to gulp it like I thought the instructions said and trying to get it down faster. This goes on for about 3 or 4 glasses. Because, okay, I calculated 4 liters is about, I think, 16 or 17 8-ounce glasses. And you're supposed to be drinking 1 8-ounce thing every 10 minutes. 16 or 17 glasses of this stuff. That's like 3 hours or so. Can you imagine putting 17 8-ounce glasses of liquid, I don't care what that liquid is, in your stomach in a 3-hour time frame? It just seems ludicrous. How can anyone do it? So I got through about 5 or 6 glasses, gagging it through, just really disgusted. And of course, in the beginning, you're doing it fast because you want to get it over with, but then you start slowing down. And after about the 5th or 6th glass, I'm hurting, like not feeling good at all. Now everything's starting to gurgle down there. The stomach doesn't hurt, okay? I mean, it's not like diarrhea where you get these pains, but things are gurgling, things are starting to flow. I'm glad for that, but I was feeling like my son was asking me questions, I couldn't even think, and I couldn't even answer them, because I was like, I think I'm going to throw up. And I go in the bathroom, and of course I'm cleaning, and so I'm in the process of cleaning, if you know what I mean, and at the same time, it's coming up this way. Thankfully, my dog's like aluminum dog bowl was in the bathroom, because one of my dogs has to eat in the bathroom to keep him from eating everyone else's food. And here I am, all up in the dog bowl. I think I probably vomited up at least half, if not more, of what I'd put in. So once all that's done, I go sit on the couch and I start watching YouTube videos on how can I get this done easier and faster. How can I do this without so much drama and torture? It was traumatic for me. I had a traumatic response to this. I was traumatized. So I had to stop. I had to stop for a little while. And I was watching YouTube videos, and I think I'd kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I can't gulp it. I can't. And I realized that if I passed it over the very top of my tongue and didn't let it touch like the sides of my tongue, then it would go down easier. Like I wouldn't gag it because I couldn't taste it as much. So, and then I also saw a doctor recommend that you chase it with ginger ale or 7-Up. And I was like, okay, well, it should be okay to do this with soda, with carbonated drinks. And so I went back to the ginger ale. But then if you think about it, like 17 glasses plus however many glasses of ginger ale. I mean, it's a lot. I think I managed once the vomiting ended and I got back to doing it again. I think I got down another, I don't know, maybe 3 glasses, and I'm like, you know what, I can't take any more. I'm done for the night. So it's like at 9 o'clock at night. I was hoping to have been done by 8 o'clock at night, but that was an unrealistic goal. So what I decided, I was going to get up the next morning at 5 o'clock, so I couldn't have anything in my mouth after 7 o'clock in the morning, because my colonoscopy was at 11:30. And I had to be like 4 hours, and I gave me an extra half hour of having nothing in my mouth. So I got up the next morning, and at 5, and I decided I was going to finish off the stuff. Well, apparently I had something like 5 glasses left. Well, I got through 3, and I said, no more. I'm done. This is going to have to be good enough, because I can't do any more. I just can't. But I also did hear a doctor say on a colon prep tip video, that colonoscopy prep tip video, that the goal is to have what's coming out look like the stuff that's going in. So if you get to a point where the stuff coming out is pretty clear, or maybe a little yellow, but mostly clear, you can pretty much stop. You should be good. She did say, though, that overnight, your stomach produces stuff. So it's kind of good to, some will have you do some at night and some in the morning anyway, because, to clear out that stuff that was produced overnight. Not like stuff that's produced when you eat, but, acids and bile and stuff. So I did my 3 more glasses in the morning, and I said, I'm done, and I dumped out everything else. And I threw that bottle away, and I really wanted to use it for shooting practice. Because it's awful, and that stuff should be considered a torture device. Honestly, I think I'd rather be waterboarded. No, I kid. So I think, people say you drink it with a straw. I don't know, maybe that would work because you could bypass your tongue altogether. Of course, it's a slower way of doing it, and it takes longer, but you can kind of gulp through a straw. So I might try that next time and see if I can just bypass the tongue altogether and not taste it. You'll still feel it in your gut because it just has that heavy, gross feeling of things that shouldn't be in there. So my tips would be, don't gulp it. Expect that it's going to taste like snot. Do not put it on the sides of your tongue because it tastes it more on the side of your tongue. Try to keep it straight up on the top of your tongue. Go ahead and chase it with ginger ale. I wouldn't say a lot of ginger ale because you're putting a lot of fluid in your stomach in a very short period of time. So just a sip, just to get that taste out of there. And do a few glasses at night and a few glasses in the morning. Just don't violate that whole don't put anything in your mouth, before 4 hours prior to the procedure. And those are my tips. Oh, and if it's possible, because if I am correct that they were offering me a pill form to do it, and it's possible for you to get that, get it. If you can afford it, because it's probably not covered by insurance. I would like to next time have the kit where it's just 2 16-ounce things full of the nastiness. I would like that, because I could do 32 ounces. I think I could do that pretty easily. I got through the first 4 or 5 glasses pretty easily. So, next time around, I'm getting whatever they offer to me, and I'm not doing that 4-liter jug thing again. I don't ever want to look at one of those things again. I think just looking at the jug would give me a trauma response. Kind of like looking at my ex-husband. Anyway, squirrel. So those are my tips for colonoscopy prep. I can't think of anything else, but really the worst part is the drink that you have to drink. Everything else is pretty easy. Colonoscopy itself. Now, like I said, in some nations, they don't put you out. Like, you're feeling it. Like, you're not anesthetized. You are laying in there with your backside exposed, with somebody sticking something in places that no thing should ever be stuck. But praise the Lord that here in the United States they put us out for it. And so you wake up and everything's easy, unless of course they tell you have cancer, and that's not so easy. Have not gotten my results yet from the CAT scan, so today's Sunday. I expect to maybe get results tomorrow, and I will tell you I wasn't afraid to find out if I had cancer. I don't know why. I guess it's because I just pretty much already knew that I had it. But I am really nervous about finding out what stage I'm in. I just heard I watched a video of a lady who told about her cancer. She had stage 2. And the whole process just really, really, really traumatized her. She's cancer-free now, has been cancer-free for a couple of years. She still is traumatized by the chemotherapy and what she had to go through with chemotherapy. I'd like to believe that I am a mentally stronger person, because I've been through a whole lot of terrible emotional things in my life, but I don't know. Kind of scared, at least of that part of it. But I'm not there yet. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Hope that I have people who can be here to help me, because I don't have family here except for my son, and my son, I don't think he's real thrilled with the idea that he is the person that I would have to use to lean on. So anyway, I could use your prayer. I am going to talk about the song on my next video, because I think I want to do a whole video on that song. And it's I guess, I don't know if it's considered a hymn. I don't know what's considered a hymn versus some of these modern songs, if they're considered hymns or not either. It's more of a more modern song. I generally like the hymns. I'm not a big fan of modern Christian music, but this one is modern, and I do like the song a lot. It has a lot of meaning for me. So even if you're not a Christian, I hope you'll watch my next video, because God is in all of this. And I trust that, and I know that, and I'd like to share that with you. He's with me, and I see it every day. So, anyway, until my next one, for any of you who are watching, thank you so much for watching my videos. My channel didn't start as a colon cancer vlog channel. My channel was started after I divorced my emotionally, verbally, mentally abusive ex-husband, and I wanted to make videos regarding that, and then life got crazy and I stopped making videos. But then here I am again, with a different purpose. I do think I want to get back to my original intent, because there's still stories to tell in that vein of my life. But for now, here is where I am. So if you're watching, thank you. Of course, I would love it if you would like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, share my videos. I've had like the kind of this conflict of conscience, because I think I'm making these videos. I'm using it kind of as therapy for me, also for my children, to watch. But then I hear this little voice in my head saying, "Oh, you're trying to monopolize on your illness." I'm like, I mean, it would be nice if I could make money off of doing these, because how nice would it be to use that to help pay for some medications or whatever. But also I started thinking, you know what, I don't care if that's what people might think, because maybe one day, possibly after I'm dead and gone, my kids could use this, for them. So it's just something I'm doing for me, for my kids, and for those who find the information useful, helpful, valuable. So enough with the self-judgment. Please like, please subscribe, and I'd love to hear from you. Until the next time, take care, and see you later, alligators.